Hey, good morning, and welcome to Business Finance. And Bfin 322, an online course. And here we are. We're going to do a little introduction today. This is the main page. Everything should be set up under Brightspace, or formerly known as D2L. So if I refer to it as D2L, you'll hopefully know what I'm talking about. But on the main site, you can come and take a look at a few things. One, the syllabus, and we'll come back maybe and take a look at that. I've also got a link to the textbook website, hopefully give you an idea of what that website will look like here. There it is. There's some good information on there. There's like practice quizzes and things like that that you may want to take a look at. Okay, that also tells you, of course, what the book is. It's a little bit, it's a few generations old. Look at that, copyright year 2014. So my hope and why I do that is that you'll be able to get a book then for a little less money. You should be able to find a used one, whether it be at the bookstore. I'm sure they have some there, or online, as many students have turned to recently. So there's one. I've got some articles posted here, and oftentimes if I read something that I find kind of compelling or interesting, I may post that and update it. I may or may not talk about it, but if you're interested in those things, you might check some of those out, and feel free to click on them. And that's kind of what these are down here. So further on, nothing special here, just kind of a little comic, just to get the mood up a little bit. Yeah, Project 1, let's not worry about that just yet. Probably next week, though. Well, and I'll talk about it when I talk about the syllabus, because you guys can start thinking about it a little bit, but it's a little bit early to worry about doing any work on that. Week 1, however, you guys can sure, I say, introduction, what's financial management, a lot of that's in the text, right? But I want you to, and you guys should all be familiar, and most of this is set up in the content section. So if you click on that, you'll see that I have things set up there, weeks 1 through 15. Don't get too far ahead. I know it's an online class. You can kind of work at your own pace. I have some things in there already set up, so you could go through a lot. You could fly through a lot of this stuff, but I am in the process of changing the assignments a bit, and how many of them I'm going to change, I don't know, but I need to shake them up a little bit, so I'm doing that, and I don't want you to get too far ahead and then do the wrong assignment. And more importantly, I don't want to have to try to correct the wrong assignment. So I've got the first couple weeks done, and I'll probably try to do some more in the next few days. So anyhow, if you click on 1, you'll note that for Chapter 1, there is a quiz due the 13th, which should be this Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. I've got a PowerPoint there, and I probably will today, tomorrow. We'll see. Go over that PowerPoint. Really, Chapter 1, Chapter 2 are kind of reviews of accounting principles, and so I haven't given you a lot of work. There's not assignments to do for that. Just kind of a review. I want you to open up your books. I want you to look through them, do the quizzes. The quizzes are open books. I don't think I have a time limit on those. There may be a default time limit of like 2 hours, so you can't just sit there and leave it open. But plenty of time to click on the question, open your book, find the answer. The only problem we have sometimes is when the internet goes down for some reason or another, and you're stuck in the middle, and we can usually figure out a way to fix that for you as well. So hopefully I have dates pretty close to correct throughout, give you a reasonable idea about where we're going to go. So again, you can kind of look ahead, work ahead a little bit. As I get a little further ahead, on the homework assignments, hopefully those of you that are overachievers, can get in there if you like to and work ahead a little bit. Some of the stuff's a little bit more difficult to work ahead much on. You'll note, and when we look at the syllabus, I'll wait, maybe I'll talk about that when I talk about the syllabus, which I think I'll do right now. I've got a module, they call those here in Brightspace, set up for the syllabus. So we'll click on that. Again, a link to the textbook website, but then the syllabus, and I haven't changed the name there. Shame on me. Look at that. I changed it up here, but I didn't change it there. I still got that one referencing spring of 18, so I'm going to come to this one, spring of 19. Yeah. Let's go to the home here. Sorry about that. I'll fix that when I'm done here. That still says spring of 18. What did I do? Did I click on the wrong class? I might have. Let me just see. It's not going to change a heck of a lot, but no, the name, for whatever reason, I'm sure I changed that syllabus. Shame on me. I'm going to pause for a minute and go back and check on that. All right. Turns out that I had updated the files without any problems, but the titles didn't change automatically like I assumed they would, so I had to go and do that. Sorry for the interruption. Let's go back to this and take a look then at the syllabus. I think that's where I was heading. There we go. Let me expand that quite a bit so that maybe you guys can see it. But, of course, you can open it up, and I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this, kind of go through some of the more important stuff. You know, it tells about the course, my stuff, phone number, my email address. Of course, you can email me right through Desire to Learn. Office hours are going to be questioned. I'm semi-retired, just teaching part-time. I will be in my office pretty regularly, but if you have any questions about that, you want to meet up for sure, feel free to give me an email. Okay, I don't have any texting or anything, but you can give me an email. I usually check my emails daily and be happy to meet you in here. You know, and as the course goes on, you may want to for reasons related to the course or the assignments or the projects. So feel free. I'm happy to meet with you on those things. Required Excel, and that's important to note that it's required. I'm going to require that almost all of your homework needs to be submitted in Excel. Okay, there's a couple of exceptions. I think later in the semester there's at least one assignment that really doesn't require Excel. It's just answering some questions, and it can be done in Word. But otherwise, I need you to do Excel, and I need you to show me your work. If you'll note, as I'm changing the assignments over, I'm kind of changing them from the book. I'm using similar assignments, just kind of changing numbers. But I've already set them up in Excel, so you should be able to just complete them there and turn that in. So gives you the course objectives, all that stuff. Of course, you can go through. Due dates for quizzes are going to be posted. Again, I call it D2L. I should call it Brightspace. Okay, it must be completed by the due dates and times and be turned in. Okay, so you know, most of my drop boxes they have a due date, but not necessarily an end date, especially early in the semester. So oftentimes, yes, you may turn in late work. It will show up as late, and I will probably assess a penalty as such. Okay. Here we go. Unless otherwise noted, all homework will be completed using Excel, and all work will be shown. Okay. That's extremely important. I want you guys to notice that and follow through on that. So, okay. Talks about the projects that we're going to do, and I'm going to talk a little bit. I'll talk more about those as we get into them. You know, I'm not prepared yet. This is an introduction. I don't want you guys to jump right in. The one thing I will talk about with Project 1 is just picking a business that you want to do that project on. So, okay, late projects. There's one letter grade, so you got to get stuff in on time. Here we go. Quizzes, assignments, discussions we probably will not have. Okay, but for the quizzes and assignments are going to account for 40% of your grade. Project 1, 25%. Project 2, 35%. So pretty big percentage on those projects, right? I break the projects down, so you know as we're going through them, there are the portions of the projects that get turned in, and so it's, project 2, you're ultimately going to write a paper. A lot of people do poorly on the paper. I'm going to tell you. However, if you do all the stuff properly up to that final paper, you can still get a reasonably good grade overall on the project. Okay, I'm not encouraging you to do poorly on the final. I would like to see everybody do a good job on the final. And again, we'll talk more about that as we get to there. So there's the syllabus, gives you an idea. Feel free at any time. I hate the grading program in D2L. I just can't get it set up the way I want to have it set up. It just doesn't allow me to do that. And so the grades to me are confusing. Your grade's probably going to be confusing as we go along. I'll enter your first grade and it's probably going to show that you still have an F, even if you get an A on it, an F minus, because it's considering all the other blanks as zeros, okay? And so as we go through the semester, your grade kind of picks up a little bit. So it's more important to just look at your overall scores and how you've done and kind of calculate your own average on those, and that'll give you a good idea of where you're at. Feel free to ask me anytime, okay? So back to course home and see if there's anything I missed. The textbook, let me know if you're having any problems getting the textbook. I'm a little bit soft on the due dates here at the beginning. I understand that sometimes we have those types of confusion and whatnot, but get it. Take a look at that quiz. Again, it's an open book quiz. It shouldn't be that difficult. Week 2, we start to get into far more detailed stuff. I think we have both a quiz for Chapter 2, but also then an assignment for Chapter 3. So it gets a little bit busier. Towards the middle of the semester, we get into some stuff that I find extremely important. We get into time value and money concepts, which I think are extremely important when we talk about business finance. And we kind of spend a little extra time on that. That said, that should be enough for the introduction. Again, let me go back. Project 1, I said I was going to speak about just briefly. Project 1, you're going to be doing the financial statements that you might do for a startup business or to prepare a business plan. Okay, you'll use this again for those of you that are in small business management as a minor. You'll use the same things again in entrepreneurship, probably. Okay. The important thing here, pick a business right now. Start thinking about a business that you would like to use for the project. Okay, keep it simple. This is very, very easy to scale up. Once you figure out how the statements work together, how they perform together, okay, it's really easy then to go back later and scale up or do a business that's far more complicated. For this project, just keep it simple. Do something that doesn't require ton of research. I'll give you an example. If you're a diesel mechanic and you want to do a diesel shop with 6 bays, that's ultimately your goal in life. And so, by golly, that's what you want to do for this project. Don't do it, okay? Talk about opening up a single bay that you're going to run yourself, right? It's going to be far easier. You can go back later and scale this thing up easily, okay? So that's the only assignment, the only thing that you need to do right now for Project 1, but take a look at Week 1 and that quiz that is due. Thanks. I'll sign off for now and probably send out another video with going over that PowerPoint for Chapter 1. Just help you out with the quiz maybe a little bit.